Hey guys, so if you're clicking on this video, I'm guessing you know the situation, or you've at least heard of it. If you're in need of some refreshing, don't worry, I'll explain soon. I have waited to see what the general community thinks, what other Halo content creators think, and if 343 would give us more context and information surrounding this situation, but they haven't. A lot of what I have to say is a repeat of what other content creators have said, though I do have my own add-ons. Here's what I'll start with. Let's chill out for a second and think reasonably. For a recap, recently it was revealed that the traditional two-color customization system that has been a part of the Halo franchise for a very long time has been replaced by what seems to me like a Destiny Eververse shader style system called armor coatings. So what this means is that the colors are baked into a package, possibly with a texture, and you can't change the color unless you get another coating. What has alarmed fans is the fact that the coatings costs money. However, we will also be able to earn these through in-game achievements. Understandably, players are upset. They don't really know how they'll be able to unlock these coatings in-game without shelving off cash because 343 hasn't clarified what the requirements are. Are we going to have a repeat of Battlefront 2 2017 when we had to spend 12 hours to get a single loot box? What's going to go down, right? We don't know. I've seen a large number of reactions, and a lot of them, to put it bluntly, seem over the top, pessimistic, and all in all, bad for the health of the community. People are saying Halo Infinite is screwed. It's going to be another failed 10-year plan. Halo is dead. 343 ruined Halo. They took my colors away. I'm not getting this game. They're probably going to lock the armor behind the paywall too. Look, I understand the frustration, but you also need to understand that we haven't even seen the actual game yet, much less the customization. We don't even know how these armor coatings will be applied. We have limited information, and some of it is not even from 343 itself. Before we get angry and upset, let's just wait and see what things actually look like. And while we wait, let's think about this reasonably and calmly. So first, let's talk about a big factor that people haven't brought up as much as I'd like, which is Microsoft. When Bungie was working on the games, it was a contract between a developer and a publisher. The developer would make an IP owned by the publisher, and the publisher would fund them and get the game out of there. Well, out there, I should say. Bungie was able to say, as the developer, "Hey Microsoft, we understand you like this idea, and we understand it's your IP, but as the people developing your IP, we strongly oppose this and really want to do this." This is no longer the case. 343 is not its own separate company. It's Microsoft. It was made by Microsoft. It's owned by Microsoft. It's just an arm of Microsoft developing Halo. So when the brain tells the arm, do this, the arm will do it. The decision to incorporate armor coatings and make Infinite multiplayer its own separate free-to-play thing was definitely a call by Microsoft. And while I personally do prefer to just buy a fully fledged game for $60 with everything and maybe like get a little map pack with some customization options down the line, I, from a business standpoint, can see why Microsoft did this. They've spent $500 million on Halo Infinite, and they haven't profited from it for a whole 5 years, half a decade. They want to make money quick, and they also want to make the multiplayer free, but with microtransactions. Again, on paper, from a business standpoint, it is an attractive option. In 2019, Activision, despite being down $800 million in profits, still earned a hefty $3.3 billion in 2019 from microtransactions alone. As Microsoft, for a big company that just spent $500 million on a single game, it's an attractive option. So, from what I can guess, they've essentially grabbed 343 by the balls and told them, Halo Infinite multiplayer will be separate, free to play, have a cash shop, get to work. And 343 would not be able to do a thing to say no. This, however, does not absolve 343, who has done a horrendous job of communicating with the community. They could be doing a better job, a way better job, but they aren't, which is a big problem. Now, regarding my thoughts on the idea of armor coatings, they're not my favorite idea. I prefer to buy a full game and then perhaps spend $10 on a little extra cosmetic pack with extra maps and things like that, like the old days, as I've said earlier. But I don't mind the idea of armor coatings, and on the surface, they aren't bad. However, I think Late Night Gaming put it best. They come at a cost. They limit players' options, and that is the issue. 343 has a bad habit of making good ideas but executing them in a manner that takes away freedoms from the player. For example, Halo 5, a fully fledged online multiplayer co-op where you can play as different members of the cast and you don't have to be in the same household to do it. Awesome. But we lost couch co-op, which is a staple part of Halo? What the hell? It's things like that which make the players upset. Less is not more here. Restricting the player, taking away things they're familiar with, alienates them and makes them feel less appreciative of the new thing. Another example. This is for Infinite. The new shotgun. I like it. It seems great, but why the hell has it replaced the iconic shotgun design? That's not right. If we had perhaps the old shotgun, which perhaps has more range, but fires slower, and this one, the Bulldog, I believe it's called, is much closer, much aggressive, and faster firing shotgun. You know, it feels to me like the fans would be much more accepting of the weapon. Giving us new things at a cost to what we love, it isn't a good idea. 343, Microsoft, why can't we have both? Why not give us standard colors but also give armor coatings with fancy textures? And while I agree with Installation 00 and others that we shouldn't freak out, it's important to voice our concerns. And if what I described above is not the case, and it's really not as costly to older systems as the player base believes currently, 343 has done a very bad job of clarifying. So, in conclusion, I believe in 343. I believe that they are trying really hard. Others have said this. 343 doesn't make the same mistake twice. And I agree with that. So I believe that Halo is, in fact, in capable hands despite the track record. This armor coating system, while concerning, is not going to change my cautiously optimistic approach. I want to see the whole thing before I say that this is a definitively good or definitively bad thing for the franchise. And 343 really has stepped it up in the last couple years or so. I think that despite their record, they're a good developer because they take feedback and they work with it. Instead of saying, 343 sucks, this armor coating system sucks, be constructive. Calmly, respectfully, state your criticisms in the most honest way possible, but don't sugarcoat it. Be brutally honest. At the same time, give some positive affirmation about what you think they've done right. What have you done that they think they should keep going with? What can they do better? What have they been doing good? Be constructive, because if I've learned anything, it's that the Halo community is much more intelligent than it's given credit for, and it's really good at sitting down and having complex intellectual conversations. And here's an example. I am not a fan of 343's poor job of communication. I think that they need to do better, and that it is vitally important that they do better because it is costing them, and it is a very, very foolish mistake on their end to make. At the same time, a thing that I think that they should keep going with is, for example, the Halo Infinite art style. And I'm not referring to the graphics that we saw in July. I'm hoping that isn't the end result, but I'm talking about the general art style. And I hope that they continue to give us a blend of the things we like from their own unique, let's say, Halo art style from 4 and 5, but also taking what the original trilogy lovers like about Halo and put it into the art style. They should keep doing that. However, art style isn't enough to keep a game afloat, and they need to do a better job at communication. If 343 wants to build a trusting relationship between it and the community, it needs to nail the communication down. And yeah, that's what I mean. Hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know that I have a Discord, and if you would like to hop down there and say hello, interact with myself and others, maybe join in on a few game nights. I've been playing Among Us with them lately, and I'm planning on getting a video out there in the future. Please feel free to come on down. I would love to see you there. And if you would like to follow my artwork or just support, I would love to see my follower count on Insta or Twitter go up. So please, if you would like to see more of my artwork, stop by. I would really appreciate it. And last but not least, please go check out the Legit Fidget. His channel is linked below. He makes the music that I put in my videos. He's awesome. He's a great friend of mine. He's basically family, and I've been in one of his videos before where we played a little bit of Destiny. Please join his small but hopefully after this video growing subscriber count. With that said, feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it. Maybe subscribe. I don't know. I'm sorry. This has been